Hi folks, welcome back to Rich Reviews, so my latest film for you guys here now. Now I know it's been a couple of weeks since I last reviewed a movie. Well, in the latest of the documentaries that I want to review for you guys here now, and thankfully I finally got a documentary that I like to share with you all now that isn't from a right-wing filmmaker. This documentary is called Civil Ben Crump. This is about the famous lawyer Ben Crump, who has taken on some civil rights cases in the last many years. And as we see in the beginning, he's talking to a relative of George Floyd, and basically this relative says, "Hey, look, our relative has been murdered by the Minneapolis police. We like your help," and so on and so forth. And you just see his reaction, and he's rubbing his head in his hands. We see him doing that a lot all throughout this documentary. Now, one of the things that people have said about this documentary is that this documentary doesn't bring a whole lot of insight into who Ben Crump is. And I personally state that I never heard of Ben Crump before I was watching this documentary, and quite frankly, I did gain some insight. Not a whole lot of profound insight, because hey, look, you're dealing with a lawyer with a lot of suits, and basically he says there's a way to talk to the media, or how you can easily manipulate the media to your advantage. I come to learn out of this documentary is that yes, being a lawyer is hard. So essentially what I learned about Ben Crump here is the fact that, oh yeah, he and his best friend, who he went into business with, basically in law school, turned down basically every opportunity to go into business together. And what do you know, they started out as rent lawyers. Which I am like, well, if that's one way to go, you could easily be a rent lawyer, which I don't think anyone would be envious at all about. Graduated a personal injury lawyer, and then of course started their own law firm. And basically his partners are like, why are you taking on so many of these civil rights cases? You're gonna get yourself a heart attack or whatnot. Or again, he does get death threats. He makes his bones, amazingly enough, in the Trayvon Martin case. And again, Trayvon Martin is indeed a heartbreaking issue, and I don't think we've fully resolved anything of that. But of course, he does get amazing settlements out of his cases. Of George Floyd, he got a $14 million settlement. So at one point, he's helping fight for these black farmers. And during this one particular time, basically says, oh yeah, the turn of the century, which I assume is going to be the 1900s, that there were nearly 1 million black farmers. Now, I have no doubt that he probably chooses to ignore the fact that a lot of those farmers were poor, and now there are only approximately 45,000 black farmers, which, congratulations, I'm glad there are only 45,000 black farmers out there, because, let's face facts, who wants to become a farmer these days? We obviously see him with his family, and he knows he regrets not always having to be there. He's talking to the media a lot, and how he's trying to advocate for his position. We obviously see how Fox News hates his everlasting guts, because, hey look, that's what Fox News is required to do. Again, he also takes on a banking while black case about this one girl was trying to cash a check, and what do you know, the cashier took her check and basically told her to scram. And thankfully the police in this case were very kind towards this one woman, helping her with stuff, compared to most other interactions with the police that have not ended so great. The documentary takes place over the year of 2020 and 2021, and see him return to his old stomping grounds, how his grandmother sort of raised him in a way, and his grandmother was in Mississippi. And he just sort of had to feel for this guy, because he has the world on his shoulders and the crushing burden of that weight. So in the end, folks, what I'm going to say about Civil Ben Crump, I'm really not going to give this a matinee rating, because quite frankly, I think people need to see what being a lawyer is all about. I know that some people sort of shit on lawyers. I understand that. And some people are just media glory hounds. So folks, Civil Ben Crump, have you seen this? What do you think? Please put everything in the comment box below here, folks. As always, folks, like, comment, subscribe, and enrich yourself with knowledge. I'll see you next time, folks. Yes, hooray.